What's up, guys, and welcome back to the series on top 5 games of 2015. I am, of course, Goramoth, and today's special guest is none other than Mr. TitansCreed from Project Phoenix Productions. How's it going, man?
It's good, my friend. How are you?
I'm not bad at all. I'm interested to see what you've got on your top 5 games, because I think you, out of other people I've talked to, will be, different from the rest of us.
Yeah, because I think we say that, I haven't really played a lot of new games this year.
That's actually a common theme as well between a lot of us, I think.
Yeah, no, I think I've said it outside of, recordings with you and just various other things, but I think 2016 is the year that I'm really looking forward to. There's a lot more that's piqued my interest in the next year.
Yeah, that's a solid idea, I think. I don't know, this year's been weird for me because, as I said in my original video, I think 2015 has been a really good year for gaming, but I just haven't ended up playing the games that are supposedly good.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. But I'd say that, from the point of view, my top 5, my 5 games, I say 5, it's 5 out of, I think, 7 games that have actually released or come out of early access this year.
Yeah.
Or released in the West this year. And I'd say 5 out of 7 of those I've played the most, or I keep playing, and they stick in my mind for what they are. So
that's a pretty solid choice for the top 5 then.
Yeah.
So let's jump into it. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
Oh, nice, good choice.
Yeah, well, being a big Dragon Ball fan, throughout the ages, and it's one of those things, it's obviously Dragon Ball, so I'm instantly going to want to play it anyway. But it's the fact of, it pulls parallels from the Japanese arcade game. I can't remember what it's actually called now, but it was released, and it was, I'm going to have to look it up. It was something along the lines of Dragon Ball Universe or something like that.
Yeah.
It was basically, the whole idea of it was that Trunks is a time patroller. He goes through and he changes all the various bits and pieces, but it's a lot of what-if stories. So anybody that knows Dragon Ball will know that in canon there's no SS3 Vegeta, Broly, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
In Universe, because it's all what-if stories, you have...
They can do whatever.
They do whatever, yeah. We've had SS3 Vegeta, we've had SS3 Broly.
That's cool.
There's been lots of other fusions and bits and pieces. There's Super Android 17 from, GT that fuses with 18 and becomes... blondes and everything else, and it's really cool. But Xenoverse basically uses pretty much the same assets, except it takes the same premise. So it's what if stories. It's characters go back into the main fights from the actual series that we've all seen.
Yeah,
and just they try to change bits, and you're your own character, and you go and you try and stop it. Obviously,
that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's got unique villains and all that to the series, as well as having you fighting the iconic stuff. It's really flashy, it's really, really good. I really enjoyed it, and I still keep going back because I really enjoyed playing it and I need to finish it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. One thing I always like is, it seems like these guys don't think, with a series like Dragon Ball, which has obviously a lot of iconic fights and moments, I feel like the sort of, while it may be a bit cliched, the sort of time dilation or alternate timelines kind of storyline works really well in that, because it lets you put in all these iconic fights while also making a new story in inverted commas.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's pretty cool. How's it play?
Similar to Ultimate Tenkaichi to a point. My favourite Dragon Ball game of all time has been Budokai 3, because it's...
Budokai's pretty legit.
Absolutely. But it's closer to, it's the 3D arena now, so instead of being the 2D where you can still go up and down and still, even though you can sidestep around, it's still a 2D arena in the Budokai. In 3D, it's more like Ultimate Tenkaichi. You hold your, one of your, your right trigger button to do your special attacks, and you hold both of the trigger buttons down. This is using an Xbox pad on the PC, by the way.
Yeah.
Using the both trigger pads to do special attacks. And then you just combo attacks and dodges and blocks and everything else, and it can be a lot of fun. But the difficulty ramps up supremely quickly. Those aren't words. Supremely quickly, and you find yourself doing a lot of out of game leveling up, and it's good because they've got several systems in place to keep you occupied while not doing the main story mode. You've got parallel quests, which is pretty much a lot of what-if story modes.
Yeah.
So you'll be working with Raditz to beat Goku, or you'll train with some of the guys to actually, from the Saiyan saga, to stop the Saiyans arriving, and you train up against those and everything else. And it just goes through all the sagas. I haven't got that far yet, but you've got that. You can train with some of the more iconic people throughout the entirety of the Dragon Ball series for them to be your master, and you learn moves off them.
That's pretty cool. I assume you learn some of their like iconic-y kind of stuff.
Yeah, like if you choose Vegeta, for example, you'll learn stuff like his ultimate attack when you're done all of his training, which is Final Flash.
Yeah,
and it does this thing like, because you can keep training masters around. If you get full mastery with Vegeta, say, and you use his ultimate move, and you keep Vegeta as a master, then his moves the Vegeta moves that you use as your character with Vegeta as your master will do extra damage.
Okay, that's pretty dope.
It's pretty cool. But it's all cool. Yeah, I like it. It's fun. It's taking a lot of my time, but I still need to finish it.
Alright, so that's Dragon Ball Xenoverse?
Yep, that's available on PC and the consoles except Wii U, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Alright, so moving on to then, what's your number 4?
To come as no surprise, it's going to be Blood Bowl 2.
Nice.
Anyone that watches my channel, or your channel, would know that we're playing a lot of Blood Bowl.
The Salt League.
The Salt Factory, yeah. I'm really enjoying it, especially since I know how to play compared to Blood Bowl 1. You know, that's the major thing. Like,
I mean, we're still learning, all of us. Like, we keep discovering new interactions and stuff, but yeah, for the most part, we have a grip on the game.
Oh, absolutely. Well, some of us more than others. But yeah, no, I don't think there's really a lot we need to say about Blood Bowl 2. It's very visually more appealing than the original one. And
far more appealing.
Far more appealing. I mean, there's going to be a new patch, which I believe will be out before this video comes out, which is basically giving us some extra tools that we had in Blood Bowl 1. So that's nice to see. And, you know, who knows what the future holds for that game. We're hoping loads more teams and stuff down the line.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
So one thing, I may as well bring it up here. One thing I heard kind of interesting about like the fact that we don't have these features we had in Blood Bowl 1 and they're getting patched in now. So the conspiracy theory I heard was they pushed out Blood Bowl 2 early because they didn't want to release it in, like, if they'd added this stuff, it would have been released in November alongside stuff like Half-Life 4. Half-Life 4? Fallout 4. Half-Life 4. You've heard it here first. It came out. It's true facts. Yeah, that's the conspiracy theory.
I can understand releasing it early to avoid the November rush, and a lot of what game developers are doing is releasing their games later, which is why you see a lot of... Like, it's been happening for a few years now, where the COD cycle's just been going onwards and onwards and onwards, where devs push their games back until, like, March, because, A, it looks good for their release numbers in the new year, because normally they're all very dead anyway. And I can say that from someone that's worked in a brick-and-mortar game establishment for a few years. And generally for gamers, like, the January to March time is generally dead anyway, so it's win-win for everybody there, really.
We actually have some good stuff coming out next year in that time.
We do. I think there's at least 2 games on my radar that are coming out in that 3-month period, which is both Wii U games, actually. Star Fox Zero and Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD.
Yeah. XCOM 2 is coming out in February as well.
No, there you go.
That much. So, yeah, Deus Ex was coming out, but that's been pushed back to August, I think. So, yeah, Blood Bowl 2 is your number 4. So, moving quickly on, what is number 3?
Heroes of the Storm.
Nice. That technically did come out this year.
Technically did. It came out in June. It's been in, like, beta for the longest time, like at least a good year. And I've been playing it since the technical alpha. So I've had a lot of time put into it. It's still my go-to game when I want to expend some energy and just blow off some steam. Like you guys have your LOL or your Dota or whichever. I can't remember which one it is you play. And I've got Heroes because...
Honestly, a mix of both at this point.
Well, there you go then. Heroes is the more watered down version, I guess, but it's a more casual friendly one. But I enjoy it because it's less compounding on your mental state, for in terms of, like, you're not jumping in and having to work out item builds and everything else. It's just talent builds and you can work that out on the fly. Plus it's a lot more characters that I understand, with being more involved in Blizzard universes, like, and being more everything else, so I understand where all the characters come from.
You kind of like Heroes of the Storm for, like, the reasons I don't like it. It's just kind of funny.
Oh, right, really? Because it's more of a dumbing down?
Yeah, because people probably know, people who watch this channel most definitely know, but other people who are maybe arriving now and seeing Bloodborne and stuff, I'm just an inherently very competitive person. It's just part of who I am. So I enjoy, like, the competitive and complexity that other MOBAs and games of that kind of type put into the thing, and, like, I get a little bit... I don't think Heroes is a bad game at all, but I get a little bit frustrated with certain design aspects of it because of the way they've done things, because I'm just like, I feel it limits the competitiveness of it, which is probably what they're going for. But yeah.
Maybe, but I mean, the biggest thing that Heroes has for me over the other games is the map diversity.
The map diversity is good for sure.
Like, I don't know, but when I started playing Dota 2 way before Heroes came out, you're literally playing on one map. Like, that might have changed by now, but
no,
I'm
it's still one map.
Not entirely sure if League is the same, although I know it has different game types. So,
they do, but the main thing, both Dota and League, the main competitive focus is the one map mode.
But, I mean, that's where Heroes differs, is that you play the objectives rather than the team.
Yeah.
Which is, I enjoy that because it's more of a, I think it's because it's got more of a PvE feel while you still got PvP in it. I think that's what appeals to me more.
Yeah, I can definitely see the appeal of that, because obviously there are other games I play that do similar stuff, like Counter-Strike, obviously very map focused. Admittedly, the objective is the same in all those maps, but the different maps have very different styles and play styles, and you come to expect different things of them, so I can definitely see that aspect of Heroes, and it's what I do actually like about Heroes. Funnily enough, though, in Heroes, the maps I hate the most are the ones the community likes the most. I seem to just have opposite opinions.
Well, there you go, you see. I mean, I don't think I've got a complaint about any of the maps.
I really, really don't like Dragonshire.
No, Dragonshire is a piece of shit because it's very bland.
It's like the community's favourite map, and I can't stand it.
No, I don't like Dragonshire. Dragonshire is a piece of shit. Mine's is really good because it's quick. Not a lot of people like Garden of Terror. I don't mind it.
I think it's a bit bland.
It is a bit bland, but then it's got the problem that because it's one of the first set of maps, it uses a lot of the tile sets.
Yeah.
So, like, anything that came out with the Diablo stuff onwards is using new tile sets, so...
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I'm...
Pretty cool, yeah.
I really like Sky Temple.
Sky Temple's really good. Sky Temple... I like the Spider one, although the Spider one feels like it drags on too long.
I guess. It's... Yeah.
Tomb of the Spider Queen, that's the one.
Yeah. I haven't played anything after Tomb of the Spider Queen, so I don't know any... I know vaguely how... No, the last map out, the one with the giant angel and demon in the middle.
Yeah, so that'd be... Battlefield of Eternity.
That's the last map I played with them. I know they've had at least one new one since then, but I haven't played it at all. Two now? Cool.
Yeah. Which is another Diablo one, and then it's Towers of Ruin, I believe. Okay. I can't remember. But yeah, they're both fun. I enjoy playing it. Lots of characters that I recognise from Blizzard universes, so it appeals to me a bit more than Dota or League. That's pretty much it.
That makes sense. Alright, so that was number 3?
Yep.
So, number 2, what's your number 2?
Number 2 is a game I'm currently Let's Playing on my own channel, part of my co-op series with a good friend, Mr. Sonic Yoda, aka Lewis Clark of Sega Driven. That would be Transformers Devastation.
That is, of course, a fucking Platinum game.
It is a Platinum Games game.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It is amazing. It's so much fun. It's Gen 1 Transformers, and it's just so beautiful to play.
I really like the graphic style they went with. It's really cool looking.
It's really nice. It's a nice mixture of cell shading and other bits and pieces. It's really, really cool. It feels so fluid. Lots of collectibles and bits and pieces. Lots of game modes. We've recently finished it, but the episodes are still coming out. So it's really good. It's got nearly all of the original voice cast. Like, there's some changes because some actors no longer are alive anymore.
You're going to say no longer exist.
I was going to say no longer exist. I was. They're just... So they've had to replace them for obvious reasons. But it's good. I enjoy it. The final boss fight is amazing.
How does it... Like, I've watched it, but I haven't really, I haven't played it personally. So the Platinum games I have played would be Metal Gear Rising, which is my favourite Platinum game ever.
Right.
I've played Vanquish.
Right.
I've played Bayonetta. How does it play compared to those?
Well, this is my first Platinum Games one that I've played, but Lewis has played Bayonetta. He says it's very similar to that.
Okay, cool.
It uses a lot of the whole dodge system.
Right.
And then, melee and, you can choose between once you dodge, everything slows down, which is similar to Bayonetta, and you can get your quick attacks in and everything else. And it's got your standard big fights against, massive enemies.
That is the classic. I played Wonderful 101 as well. Forgot about that.
wonderful. I need to play that at some point.
That game is insane. Like, absolutely insane.
It is pretty cool. But yeah, no, I enjoy it. It's really, really fun. And every time I go back to it, I'm still learning something more. So
it's kind of awesome. This is your first experience of Platinum.
Yeah, well, I do have Bayonetta 1 and 2 sitting on the side, but I'm waiting for a replacement controller for my Wii U to come in before I actually get down to playing that. So there is that. Plus, there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game next year, which is going to be a Platinum Games
that one. I didn't know.
I'm looking forward to getting.
For me, the one I'm looking forward to the most. I don't think it's coming next year, but the fact they've announced that Platinum is doing the sequel to Nier. I am very interested in that. Platinum
Games have got their fingers in many pies. They've got that. They've got
Star Fox,
Xbox One game. Yep, they did the single player for Star Fox. Is it Dragon Scale?
Oh yeah, that one looks really weird, but kind of cool.
Yep. They've got lots coming out. I can't actually remember off the top of my head. Let's take a look.
As you can tell, big fans of Platinum here.
Well, we are. I mean, there's stuff that we're aware of that we're looking forward to.
Absolutely.
Let's have a look. Well, they did Anarchy Reigns as well.
Yeah, they did.
I forgot about it. Oh yeah, so they've got Scalebound, Star Fox Zero, and Nier Automata, which is what's scheduled for next year. Which, shockingly, is something for each system: Wii U, Xbox One, and PS4.
Yeah, they're very diverse at the minute.
They are very diverse. So yeah, looking forward to that. There's also rumours of Metal Gear Rising 2, but I think that's been shit canned until...
it depends.
Because of Konami.
Yeah, it really depends. I would love Rising 2. Like I said, Rising is my favourite Platinum Games game. It's my favourite spectacle fighter ever. I think the systems in that game are perfect. The only flaws with that game are the bits where the budget was obviously constrained. There's the story doesn't flow quite so well because of obviously they've had to leave certain things out and stuff like that because of time constraints, which is fine. It still works as a game and it still plays fine. But those systems, man, the way that game controls and plays is just incredible. So I would kill for Rising 2, but I don't think it'll happen, and that makes me sad.
Well, you never know. I mean, Platinum's got their fingers in so many pies. I mean, it really depends. I mean, you never know. Kojima might go and make a Metal Gear game which isn't Metal Gear, have the same character-esque stuff, and just get Platinum on board. You never know.
Who knows? So, anything else to say about Devastation?
Other than it's brilliant and everybody should go play it.
Alright, so that was number 2. That was Transformers Devastation. So, number 1, what is your top game of 2015?
It's a mobile game.
It's a mobile game. Nailed it.
It's a mobile game.
Gamer cred gone. Shattered.
I know, right? It's Final Fantasy Record Keeper.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Did that come out this year?
Yes, it came out in the EU in March of this year.
Wow. I thought that was older.
No, it came out this year. I had to double check because the only dates I could pull were the Japanese dates, and the Japanese are about 6 months to a year ahead of
as someone who grew up with Nintendo, I am well aware of this difference.
Yes, well, there we go. The main reason it caught my attention to begin with is because way back when, in March or about that time, Nintendo announced their cooperation to do mobile games with the company called Dina.
Right.
Capital D, small e, N-A. And I jumped on a Transformers mobile game, it's literally build a squad of Transformers, Autobots, Decepticons, whatever, and it's just PvP. You just go in, you just kill each other's team and see who wins.
Right.
Very basic, very good. But then they released something called Final Fantasy Record Keeper, which I had a look at, and it basically pulls in the most famous heroes and soon-to-be villains down the line of Final Fantasy games 1 through 10, skips 11, and does 12, 13...
Well, 11 was the MMO, right?
Yes, but they've also got characters from 14 in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
I know very little about the MMO.
Well, down the line, there is stuff coming in from 11, but it's basically, it pulls all those characters in, and you basically go into the games and live out battles from the story, and it basically tells you the story in an ATB battle system where you've also got limit breaks and various other bits. The reason I like it over most other mobile games is because it doesn't throw ads in your face. It's a free game. It doesn't throw ads in your face. There is one microtransaction in the game to buy a currency, which you can use to do item pulls or replenish stamina or reheal your team, in the middle of one of these fight sequences and bits and pieces. but it doesn't throw it in your face unless you run out of like the base currency which you earn in game, which is mithril. Right. So if you run out of mithril and you want to do like an item pull or replenish your stamina or bits and pieces, then it'll ask, do you want to buy a gem set? And it's like, well, you've got the choice, and even then it'll just take you through all the systems and bits and pieces to buy it. So it doesn't really, there's not really an option on the screen to buy it at any time. There's no adverts for anything else or anything else. Like, you don't finish a battle and it throws you in an advert like most other games do. So it's a very nostalgic game, and I like to say, like many other things, it's always a secondary company which does a better anniversary game than the main party.
Than Square Enix. That's because let's be honest, Square Enix are pretty terrible.
Well, yeah, but it's not just that. I mean, what is it? I think Hyrule Warriors was a better anniversary game than Skyward Sword. Among other things as well. Like, a lot of third-party companies are able to enrich the history of a certain franchise better than the parent company.
I feel like that's definitely true. It sounds like it's kind of, so Record Keeper's kind of similar to Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and it's kind of, obviously it's not the time travel stuff, but it has the same kind of playing up the big fights, right?
Yeah, mostly for the part of it. I mean, when you first jump into it, you're practically given Cloud as your first hero.
Of course,
Cloud Strife.
Of course,
and the tutorial battle is basically going into the first Mako reactor from Final Fantasy VII and fighting the Guard Scorpion, and that is your tutorial.
Nice,
and it's really fun. And it goes through various other things. Yeah, like we're in December now, and it hasn't even finished any of the stories from any of the games. We've still got loads to go. Like, I know down the line in the Japanese version at the moment, they've gone into the Final Fantasy VII Advent children's story.
Oh, cool. So that's all brand new then, because that was just a movie.
Well,
right?
it's brand new. It's like a couple of years old now.
No, I mean, as in, like, that's never been in a game, right?
No, that's never been in a game. No, yeah. Absolutely not. But I know that that's available, and there's various other things. The best thing about it as well is that there's continuous events that are always going on as well. So it's not like you finish the story and that's it. Like, you're not just grinding battles over and over to level up your team. You've got events where you unlock extra bonus characters and things to break level caps and everything else as well.
Cool. How often are they updating it then? Like, it sounds like they're updating it a lot.
You get a new story batch of dungeons. Like, when it first came out over here, you got the story updates once a month. Now they're twice monthly.
Oh, that's pretty good then.
The events are about once every 9 days.
Okay.
And yeah, and then you've got daily event dungeons, which you can just keep going through and just keep getting extra materials, bits and pieces.
Whenever I hit daily event dungeons, it's like, wow, just in my head, it's just World of Warcraft.
No, it's not that bad. No, it's fun. I enjoy it. I've put my 5 games into list of what I play the most. And Final Fantasy Record Keeper, I'm logging on every day to play.
Oh, that's reasonable.
Since March, I haven't missed a day, and it's so much fun. I mean, I don't put hours into it, not as much as I used to when it first came out. But
I mean, you can't really, can you? Because it's a stamina game, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. But you're looking at like it replenishes 1 stamina every like 3 minutes.
Okay. So it's quite quick to refresh.
It is, but every time you can get items from doing dungeons which increase your max stamina, and every time you increase your max stamina, it completely recharges everything as well.
Oh wow, okay.
So I mean, when you first start up the game, you get 40 stamina, and I think I'm at about 126 now.
Okay,
that's
pretty legit.
It's really, really good. It's really fun. I can't push it enough. It's on iOS and Android. And they both update at the same time.
Cool.
So I really can't push it enough. As a mobile game, it's one of the best mobile games I've ever played.
Nice. Okay, so that's your top 5 for 2015. So I know we've talked about looking at 2016 already, but I just want to end the video with one last thing. It's like, what do you think out of all of 2016, or maybe even further beyond 2016, what is the one game you're like most looking forward to?
Well, the biggest things on my horizon right now, at least for next year, are Zelda 2016 and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Final Fantasy VII Remake is really going to purely depend on how fast they throw out episodes right now. My biggest worry about that, obviously, was when they announced it was going to be episodic.
Yeah.
And I believe that was, like, on day of recording today, that they announced that the first scenario was done which makes me jump back to my initial fear of it's going to be the first 2 reactors from the first from Final Fantasy VII, which is basically when, spoilers for a 10-year-old game, but when Cloud falls down to the Flower Garden and finds Aerith.
Yeah.
So, but I only say that because the English voice acting is done, and that looks that. So, I mean, when was FF7 Remake announced? E3 this year in June?
Yeah, it was E3 because it was part of the conference where Sony just destroyed.
Yeah, so it's been 6 months to get one scenario. If that's close to releasing, like they're actually saying, then we should get that soon. If they're going to do 6 months to an episode, that's not too bad. So,
but it depends how many episodes they cut it into and how much those episodes then cost, right?
True, but I'm going to hope if it's going to be as long as that one, that they're not going to charge us $40 up the nose. But it's Square Enix, and B, we've still got to hope that they don't turn around and go Yuffie DLC, Vincent DLC, Save Aerith DLC.
Thing is, it's Square Enix, so it's always in the back of your mind, and it's
oh, absolutely. Plus, we got to hope that there's always continuous save progression as well. You finish one episode, it goes into the next with what your stats and that were.
Oh, they can't not do that, surely. That would.
Well. But then they're going to have to put level caps on certain discs, because otherwise you're just going to walk into the second episode with a max level cap.
I guess.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we don't know how it's going to run, but I'm looking forward to it. Zelda 2016, I'm looking forward to. I mean, those are some point later on in the year. I mean, as I said, Star Fox Zero and Twilight Princess HD are in the first quarter.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for Twilight Princess HD. That's probably one of my favourite Zelda games ever.
It's the first Zelda game I've never finished. That and Skyward Sword are the 2 games I've never finished. I haven't even played Skyward Sword yet.
Yeah, I was going to say I've never played Skyward Sword either.
But it'd be interesting if they try to HD that, because they'll have to remove the Wii Remote mechanic, because it was garbage.
Yep. I hear so many mixed opinions on that, but yeah. So yeah, thanks so much to Mr. TitansCreed for coming on the show and talking about his top 5 games. I'll leave it to you. Where can people go check you out? What kind of...
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. If you want to follow me on Twitter, there's @TitansCreed if you want all the bullshit nonsense that I spout with on a nearly daily basis. If you want to follow the gaming one for just my gaming updates and that, it's @GamingPhoenix. If you want to follow me on the YouTubes, which is where all the YouTube content comes out, including some of the co-op stuff, which is Blood Bowl-esque with Mr. Goramoth and his Dead Air Invitational Gaming, that would be youtube.com/Project Phoenix. But yeah, that'll be it. That'll be the socials, the ones I use anyway. So if you want to follow me there, it'd be appreciated.
Alright, that's been good.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Catch you guys later. Bye.